Hello, thanks so much for coming and checking out this video. I'm right now on my YouTube channel talking about why your YouTube video needs a call to action. Recently, I did a series talking about how to start getting traffic to your YouTube channel. And one of the things that I talked about was how you can use YouTube cards and YouTube annotations. Now I'm going to go into a little bit more detail about that. That's coming right up. So stay tuned. Hello, I hope you're having a wonderful day. And I hope that you are repurposing your live streams and also creating content specifically for YouTube. We're doing so much live streaming these days, and I know that a lot of folks, especially when Facebook introduced live streaming, a lot of folks who never used YouTube before jumped into the pool of video. So I want to go over some things that I've talked about in the past, but first of all, YouTube constantly makes changes and updates to their interface. So some things probably changed. And also you're changing. I know you are, because you are all in on video now. So when you're creating this content, you're creating all these live streams, you want to maximize the benefit that you get out of all the hard work that you're putting out. Plus, you also want to serve your audience. You know that you have more information for them. So you want them to sign up for your email list or visit your blog. Or maybe, if you're like me, you also want them to become part of your community on Patreon. By the way, you can do that over at patreon.com/Ileane. So these are some of the things that you can add as a call to action on your video. You also can get them to subscribe to your podcast. So this is for you podcasters out there too. So I'm going to go back to the screen share, and I'm going to show you how you can use YouTube cards on your videos. And then if we have time, we'll also take a look at YouTube annotations. So let me get to the screen share. Now here's a video that I did just the other day, and I am in the back end of my YouTube channel. Now, what you need to do in order to get back here is you want to go to your videos page, okay? And you should see up at the top of the page, it should say youtube.com/my_videos. I know that's kind of small, but you should be able to also find it over on the left-hand side under the video manager and videos. So we're just going to go right back into it. And here I'm going to make this bigger, make sure you guys can see. Right next to each one of your video is the edit button, and where you'll also see there's a pull down menu of the choices, the things that you can edit. So today we're going to take a look at the cards. And this brings us to this interface. Okay. And on this interface, guys, you can add, let's see, they're up to 6 different kinds of cards now. You can add a video or playlist card. And by a card, I'll show you what one looks like in a minute, but I just want to go through the different types first. So a video or a playlist card would be something that actually links to a video or a playlist. Then it could be a channel. You can promote another YouTube channel. Maybe you have another YouTube channel, or maybe you have one that you've learned how to use YouTube from. Like, for example, my channel. YouTube also has a feature called fan funding, where you can get your fans to donate to your whatever it is that you are doing here on YouTube, or just as a way of saying thanks and giving back to you. I also have a video to show you how to set up fan funding, because it gets a little complicated, but in the video, I break it down step by step. Next is donations. Maybe you have a nonprofit that you want to show support to. You can use the card for donations. Also, you can create a poll, make your video more interactive, excuse me, by adding, you can make your video more interactive by adding a poll and giving your viewers the option to vote. But what we want to talk about today is the link that you can add to the approved website. Now, there's a little bit of a setup behind this. First of all, you have to have your channel all verified and everything, and you have to connect with what we used to call Google Webmaster Tools, what's known now as Google Search Console. And all of your websites will be here. Once you can make that connection, you'll have the option to use any of your websites as one that you can add a card. But there's also merchandise sites. So let's just say you had a t-shirt business, and here's a list of the approved retailers, and there's just so many of them. Big Cartel is one I know that's very popular. Benchmark. There's just so many. There's no way I can even list them all here. Merch Store, I think also there's Gumroad. Okay, and if you have an app in the Google Play Store, here's iTunes. Remember, I mentioned earlier that you can link to your podcast, and yes, you can. If it's on iTunes and if it's on Google Play, you can also, that would be your call to action at some point in the video. Even if you don't say it verbally, the little card will come up and prompt people to go over and check it out. Let's say you had a t-shirt business, or you were selling t-shirts for some specific reason. Here's Spreadshirt. So there's a bunch of them. And just to give you an idea of what the list looks like, there's pretty much anything that's retail, that's a widely known and widely used retail shop, you can link to with your card. Also, there's crowdfunding sites. I mentioned earlier Patreon, and also there will be like Indiegogo, things like that. All right. Charity Water. So here's Patreon here. Okay, so now you get the idea. These are a lot of things that you can link to. So in order to set one up, let's say I'm going to use my website, ILEANESBUDDY.com. Then you go to the next screen. And YouTube will kind of pull in some of the metadata, but you do also have the ability to change this up. In fact, I have another one that I want to use instead. Oh, by the way, I use a tool called TubeBuddy, makes this so much easier, and I have my templates already set up in TubeBuddy. So let's do that. Let me show you that really quickly. Let's do the Patreon one. Okay, so now my card is going to say join the community on Patreon, support upcoming projects. The link is going to be added to patreon.com/Ileane and visit my Patreon page. And it's telling me here that it's going to start at the 7-second mark. All right, so I'm going to apply that. And TubeBuddy lets me know that I have to refresh in order to see it. So it's going to refresh. And so here is the card that's been added. So what happens is you'll notice now there's a more info button here. And when people see this, and the benefit of using the YouTube card versus the annotations, that's why I'm showing you the cards first, is because they can be seen on mobile devices. The annotations don't work. So when someone clicks that on, they're going to see this nice little banner, and you want your banner to be square. And shout out to Chanel Monique over at Lighter Creative. She's the one who does most of my artwork for me. And so she made a banner, and then I kind of altered it in this square format. And I also post that one on Instagram because it was a square. So this is what the card looks like. And as I mentioned, people will see the card when they're also on their mobile. Okay, so that's very important. So let's say we thought that that timing of that card wasn't good. We can go in here and change it. We can change the timing so that that card doesn't pop up. You don't want people leaving your YouTube channel right away, because then YouTube, will they won't show favor to your videos. So there you go. That's just one example of a card. And the rest of, they really work the same way, guys. I recommend that you get TubeBuddy because it will make it so much easier. You can actually do this in bulk once you have TubeBuddy installed. For example, if I wanted to go and add a card to a bunch of videos at once, I could go in what's called the bulk editor here. And this little icon is from TubeBuddy. And then I would bulk. Here's cards right here. Bulk delete. So I could delete a bunch of cards. Let's say one of my websites, maybe I was promoting an event and the event is over. So I want to go right in here and delete that. Or I could update them. Okay. So that just gives you an idea of what a YouTube card looks like. So let me just come back over. I want to come over in YouTube just to see if anyone had an opportunity to come and join me for this event. And I'm kind of fumbling around here because it's been a while since I did YouTube Live. And I just want to see if there's any comments. So let me go check that out down here because it's been a while since. All right. All right. Yes, I do have a couple people here. All right. Hey, Carlos. Carlos is here. And also TMP Plotting's Dojo. And thank you guys both so very much, because you guys were also here with me last night as well, or 2 days ago, whenever it was. Thanks so much for your awesome support. Okay, so now with that, we're going to move on to the next kind of call to action that we can add onto our video. So bear with me a second, guys. I got to get back in my place here because I've got all these screens going on. All right. So the annotations. Now, I wasn't sure I was going to have time because I didn't want to go too long, but I'll just quickly show you what the annotations back end looks like. Now, as I said, wait 1 second. This is what I'm going to do here. I am going to stop screen sharing for a second. Hi. The difference with the annotations is that they don't work on desktop, as I said. But what you need to do is go into your analytics and see YouTube has a place where they can show you the traffic that's coming to your channel, and it will tell you whether you're getting more traffic from mobile than you are from desktop. For example, in general, most people now are watching on their mobile devices. Okay. But because my content is a lot of screen sharing and a lot of tutorials about YouTube and blogging and social media, I tend to have a lot of traffic on desktop. It actually is probably like 60% on desktop. which is probably maybe 45% for the average YouTuber, because mobile is more dominant. So that's important to me, to let me know that those annotations are still important. And one way that they're really important is if you make a mistake in your video, or as time goes by, something's changed. Maybe you did a video about something, and especially for me, I'm doing social media, right? So these platforms are constantly changing. So when the platform changes, I don't want to lose the video. Maybe the video is 90% correct. Okay. But I want to put a little annotation that only will be seen on desktop that will say, you know, this has changed in September 2016. YouTube got rid of Google Hangouts on Air and moved it over into YouTube Live. Of course, that's kind of wordy, but you know what I mean. I would put an annotation there that would say move to YouTube Live or something like that. So this gives you the ability to write as text. You have an open field of text that you can write into. So let me just show you now, because I'm getting tongue-tied trying to explain it to you. Okay. So let's go back to screen share. Just got to make sure I'm sharing the right screen. And yeah, all right, I am. Okay, it threw me off for a minute because I forgot what video that I was zoomed in on. All right, let's make this a little bit bigger. And just so it's a little bit less confusing, let's move to a different part of the video. All right, so there we are. Well, okay. She's making a crazy face there, so that's a little bit more normal. Even though that one's kind of bizarre too. All right, so actually I have to resize it a little so you guys can see. All right, so let's say I want to add an annotation right there that says, I meant to say not, or something like that. So we're going to add an annotation. So let's say it's a speech bubble. Look, well, let's use the normal call to action. And let's just say, we're going to say, come to my website. I have this ebook I want you to download. And I'll say, visit my blog. How's that? Okay. You can customize the size of these. Now, actually, this is a little TubeBuddy thing right here that I'm going to try to get rid of. No, that didn't work. So let's see how. I'm not sure I can get rid of that. I'll just try to move it out the way. And you can change the size of the font. Got to have it selected. Not sure why that didn't change. Should have. Okay, I'm not going to fuss about that. Okay, but you can change the size of the font. You can also change the color. You can change the color of the background to make sure that it stands out on your video. Okay, so there you go. Now you can see that it got bigger. I'm sorry. All right. And so then here, once again, those approved sites that you have loaded up in your search console, those are the ones that you can link to. So here we go. I'm going to add a link, not to a video. We're going to have to make this a little smaller. Sorry about that, guys. To my associated website. All right. And I'm just going to type it in. And TubeBuddy has some templates for this as well. I just haven't set them up on the annotations. So now see, there's that little arrow that tells you this is a link here. So if anybody's watching that video and they say, oh, visit my blog, they could click that one when they're on desktop. So there's a couple of other types of annotations. You can add a note, a title, a spotlight, a label. Bottom line is it's all just sort of a call to action or an overlay that goes on top of your video. It doesn't impact the content of the video, but it's an additional cue that tells your viewer what they need to do. All right, let's go back over to YouTube to see if there's any questions. And don't know how hard that's going to be for me to get back over to YouTube with all these windows I have open. All right, hang on, guys, bear with me. Oh, in the Hangout, they give you a link at the bottom of the page. And that's how I got it last time. Okay. I feel a little bit better now. I know where I'm at. All right. You have to wait for it all to load, though. And there's a little bit of a delay. So that's good. All right. Oh, hey, and there's Derp also came through. Thanks so very much. And Derp Depinson, thank you for coming. A gamer. I love my gamers. Guys, thank you so much for coming out. Please feel free to reach out to me. On Twitter is probably the easiest way, or Facebook if we're connected. For example, Carlos and I are connected on Facebook, so he knows he can always DM me, or even on Twitter, message me. And my Twitter handle is ILEANE. Okay. And guys, please, if you appreciate the content that I share here on this channel, consider being part of the community over on Patreon. And that's patreon.com/Ileane. And with that, I will bid you adieu. Thanks so much for coming, and make sure you check out some of the other videos that I have here on the channel that talk about how you can get traffic on YouTube. Because I don't want to see you wasting your time with all this live streaming and not getting, the maximum bang for your buck. Because what I like to do is help you make meaningful content for your audience. And so with that, I'll see you in the next video, which might quite possibly be tomorrow. Bye now.